Alright, so where did our heroes actually about to land? In Idaho, Twin Falls.
Hmm. Interesting place of location.
Roger, Command. We'll have the defense towers
Like I said,
online.
we do go through a sort of a tour.
We're coming up to Twin Falls, descending to 300 feet. Shit! What the hell was that? It's stalkers! They know we're human! So quit yapping and land already! You wanna fly this thing? Be my guest! Damn it! We lost an engine! Take us down! Get ready to bail out! Controls are seizing out! Bail out now! Hale, come in! Do you copy? Yeah, still here.
Anyway, we crash landed in Idaho.
The entire perimeter will have been compromised. Link up with your team.
Blake and the others have been basically scattered a bit, so we need to actually reunite with them, basically. And unfortunately, that means having to go through the basement of a place. I mean, and immediately I thought, wait, why can't I just, climb up here? Doesn't seem to be that steep. Nope, invisible wall. Okay, then fine.
Prelim places arrival within the hour, sir. Hale, link up with your team and get moving. Those camps don't have the military presence to defend themselves.
Alright, now we have to first get through this small basement and then use the houses. The Idaho, basically, this section of Idaho has basically a set of, small suburban type of houses, which means a lot of, environments, not necessarily copied and pasted, well, some of them are. It's just that, let's say that the inhabitants have been a bit busy being in there.
Oh boy.
Like I said, the Chimera don't have the conversion centers in this place, so they're using a bit more of a, oversimplified method of conversion, which unfortunately creates these particular hybrids.
I'm surprised we don't have any sequences where they can burst out of those things all newborn.
Oh, that's because we're pacing ourselves, Jova.
Yeah,
Right now I'm just paranoid enough to try to burst everything that I see on site before they can have the chance to pop up.
yeah. If this game got a remake for modern consoles, I can't. I would love to see the splatting effect, like splat the goo all over the screen.
I get it, but I'd rather not, for the sake of not having to wait a few seconds until it cleans over.
Oh, I can just switch it off.
I guess.
I'm inside one of the houses on Fairview.
Yeah, that's the problem. There apparently are no survivors or civilians here in Twin Falls, which probably had to be expected, but not to this kind of level. Things are a bit more dire than even the SRPA actually thought. Oh, fuck.
They felt the need to stick them up on the ceiling for some reason.
Oh, hey, there's a radio. Maybe that host can talk. Let's see. No, it was just okay. It's just a random song.
I will say that one thing I can appreciate about this game is definitely how it works with the terror of the situation.
Yeah, it's actually much compared to the previous game, which was definitely not, that particular. Oh, even the fucking dog.
Oh, really? Even the dog? Come on, guys.
Compared to the previous game, definitely this one knows how to better build a bit of atmosphere.
Yes.
Like I said, don't get me wrong. The one from the previous one was not too much of a problem, but hold on, I think the radio is about to flare.
Good evening. This is your old friend H. Stillman coming to you from Philadelphia's old Washburn building on 4th. It's been 2 days since we've received word from within the Liberty Defense perimeter, and I wonder if we ever will. Perhaps the creatures found a way inside. Perhaps all is lost already. Sometimes I wonder if we were better off when Grace was alive. You know, the man may have been a son of a bitch, but what of McCullen? Where's he?
He forgot Grace was actually the president of the United States. And like I said, unless you ever read the book, you wouldn't know what happened to him.
Peas from the employee break room?
It's a weird thing to do, given how... And I get it, you have to stop to hear this, but...
Now there's a bit of
It does sound like something
More of
that
a background event kind of thing.
She loved peas.
Oh.
And I could never stand them. Used to call it rabbit food. Well, this rabbit now sits before you and sure could.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks. I miss her.
Yeah, let's move on.
Poor guy.
Like I said, the voice actor actually does a relatively good job in delivering, this man trapped in this building, slowly losing his sanity.
I
So
swear if
there
it
is
ended,
that.
One thing. Sorry.
I swear if the broadcast end with him getting turned into one of those things.
Yes, Pedro?
It's just a technical detail that I want to highlight because this is kind of a pet peeve of mine when it comes to games made in the 2000s. Guys, you subtitled a lot of the other dialogue.
Yeah.
Why didn't you subtitle that too?
This is literally the only excuse I can come up with.
No,
The PS3 is about as much RAM as my hand.
I was about to say, again, selective subtitles, which unfortunately was all over the place with the PS3. I really honestly don't know who was the first game that, honest to God, tried to start trying to push specifically the subtitles for, complete level subtitles for accessibility purposes. So yes, that's a huge block of these. So let me try to use the Magnum for this.
I noticed that last one inside was actually pretty flammable, given how it burst into flames when you...
Well, it depends on what weapon you use against them and what kind. For example, like as you said, some of the cocoon explode on with the first round, others I need to actually detonate the rounds with the secondary fire of the Magnum.
Try to think.
Because it must have been on PS4. Again, granted, I still have to play it. Might have been Killzone Shadowfall. It was one of the launch titles. The same goes for, Infamous Second Son, maybe.
If I remember correctly, I might be wrong. It's been a while, but if I remember correctly, I think the original PS3 release of The Last of Us might have had subtitles for everything. I don't remember there being ever a point in that game where there were no subtitles that I felt like. No. I mean, yeah. There's the occasional NPC opponent dialogue, but that's just something that's whatever. But when it comes to even when you read the notes, you have an option to darken the background and just read the text with the game's font instead of reading the actual note with the handwriting, right? Mm-hmm. So even the notes had accessibility features. So maybe it might have. Remember, as you guys know, for as terrible as it is, Last of Us Part 2 was a breakthrough.
No, like I said, the accessibility award was genuinely actually deserving of that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody agreed on that. But so Last of Us 1 also kind of probably. I wouldn't be surprised if Last of Us Part 1, the original PS3 version, was probably one of the first ones to have a lot of these more nice little touches of sorts.
Not that much, considering again the remake made it a plot point, but a selling point to have it.
Oh yeah, definitely. But obviously the accessibility in the remake is better. That's the one good reason for its existence. The accessibility settings, the one good reason.
Actually, I haven't asked because I didn't bother to check. Did they ask the active voice actors to re-record all of the dialogue?
No. The dialogue
They just
is entirely
recycled. Okay.
Entirely. Well, there was no real. They didn't make any changes to the story content anyway. So
True. But I guess maybe there was a thing of saying maybe this line of dialogue might have been read with a slightly different tone. Let's just try to redo it or something like that.
No.
I don't know. Just a thought process of that.
No, the story part of the remake is.
Oh fuck! Yeah, that's see, Joe. But like I said, the level is basically paced itself of having the cocoons do not burst. Now they start to do it, so they can catch you off guard too.
So I like to imagine some are just waiting in there and like, okay, we'll surprise you.
You never know which one may do. Yeah, maybe all of them could do it, maybe none. Again, I like this, I guess. But go on, Pedro.
Basically, they did the same thing that they did in Gears of War Ultimate Edition, where all they did was take the original voice recording and just redo the cutscenes to make them basic. According to the behind-the-scenes videos of the remake, what they did is they went back to the original mocap sessions and rewatched those again, and this time reanimated them to make them look as close to the actual actors on stage as they could to properly capture the performances better. But the actual recordings and even the mocap data was reused. What they did is just make the graphics look nice. Again, like in Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Mm-hmm. Something similar to the medieval remake.
I mean, there was no real need to do that anyway, because there's not really anything like outdated in the dialogue that I think needs
like I said, I was only thinking about maybe they wanted to do also like the Spider-Man thing of delivering a line depending on how much health you had. Maybe, I don't know.
I guess maybe, but there was not really. No, there was nothing. The thing about the one sole reason for that remake is, of course, better graphics and accessibility settings. Aside from that, it has no root. But that being said, to be fair, accessibility settings are definitely a good enough reason for that remake, because unlike the original, a lot more people can play the remake. So
I do agree, you know, on that kind of concept, there's also the fact that there are countless, PlayStation games on any generational consoles that probably needed a bit more priority in terms of being remade.
Definitely. Well, obviously, Theo. That's what a lot of people say. That being said, I will not. I will still.
If the product is good enough at the end, might as well keep it.
There's also the other thing that remember. The main reason they remade the game was also to have synergy with the TV show. So and
also to have it a PC port, I guess.
Like for example, they're making a Gravity Rush movie right now, right? And we already got the talk from multiple sources that they're making a remaster of 2 to coincide with that movie's release. So this is something that Sony has been doing recently. In fact, if they ever make a Resistance movie or a show for whatever reason, that's when we'll get our remasters of these games.
NTN. The tornado has passed. Oh, fuck.
Wrong. The tornado in my mind still goes on.
So, how would you say is ammo balancing in this game overall?
Fine enough. But for these levels specifically, where you get potentially swarmed by these things, again, I haven't shown it that much yet, but as you will see, the game makes it a tactic to have basically been rushed. Oh, I got Torn. To be rushed by these things, like in big groups, you will have to manage your ammo, and again, because you can only carry 2 weapons at a time.
Yeah, I noticed.
You need to actually manage, with what you have. Preferably, you keep the stuff like the shotgun and the carbine. The Magnum is useful, but only in case you want to set up a trap, as in aim at the ground and then detonate for a grenade sort of effect. When it comes to these enemies, think of them slightly like the necromorphs from Dead Space. They can move at any kind of speed, so you cannot actually predict what they're gonna do. As in, they may slightly get slowly to you, or they may try to actually bomb rush towards your location.
I love how even for ones that are completely out of the way, you're smashing them up. I guess.
Again, I try to be, just to be sure. And it's not even a case of kind of like what Blitz did for Final Fantasy VII Remake about the boxes. No, I just want to make sure these things these Kinder eggs do not have the wrong surprise, if you know what I'm saying.
For me,
oh my god, a ghost!
I cannot believe this.
It's the dancing lampshade, my favorite character.
Zoic Scoob, a moving lamp. But anyway.
Holy shit.
That wouldn't even be the weirdest thing that we've seen in the Scooby-Doo franchise.
Well, obviously.
Oh fuck!
Oh no,
No.
it's a party.
Yeah, looks like the neighbor who wants to
Wait,
get to
is
the
this-
grid to
wait,
barbecue.
Wait, is this base gone now? What? There's so many.
I was about maybe I probably should make a joke about Black Friday or something. You cannot if you pay attention to the movement of these enemies, you will notice that they're also mock-capped because their movements clearly, there you go, like this one, clearly emulates someone in a suit moving in a particular pattern. So that's actually pretty neat.
Wow, there goes the neighborhood.
Literally.
But yeah,
Did Douglas Adams took over for one line? I don't know.
Maybe.
I guess so.
Gone.
No, but you'll notice, like, if you actually look it up, you might realize, like, for example, when the Uncharted movie came out, they re-released both 4 and Lost Legacy as a pack to coincide with that. So Sony, this is how Sony has been doing things when they have a TV show. Or they also remember they also re-released the Twisted Metal 1 and 2 as part of the classics lineup. To coincide with the Twisted Metal show, right? So this is something that's...
Fuck.
Well, okay.
Swarmed.
Well, at least you got out.
Yeah, and because I have regenerating health, I don't have to worry. Again,
Okay.
another
Well, at least
thing.
at least it becomes useful in these cases.
I will.
Well, again, useful as in, but it's a demonstration on how I can get away from a situation where I clearly should have not.
I will say.
guess.
I keep in mind, I'm playing on medium, you know. I appreciate the fact that the game is not super 100% brutal, but I don't know. I get the idea for a situation like that, I should have died.
I will say
guess.
that I find it disingenuous for a shooter to suddenly go, hey, I want to be like a survival horror now, and then suddenly cut down on the ammo with parts like that where you can get swarmed, unless their intention is for you to run.
Well, I think it is. Warner did tell you, I think, to run. Keep in mind, like I said, there is an in-story explanation of why you regenerate health because it's part of the Project Abraham program that you know, Hale has been subjected to. So there is that. Technically speaking, there is a good explanation for that.
I was talking about the lack of ammo this sequence, where again it treats it like a survival horror out of nowhere. Where in other points,
It's more of a case, not necessarily scarcity of ammo, Jova, but more the overabundance of enemies. Although, like I said, it does a good job at building the atmosphere because arriving at this point, you're actually relieved to fight regular chimeras again.
yeah, like man, you know it's bad when regular chimeras actually seem fine. It's like when we got those super special locusts in Gears that actually made fighting regular locusts a relief.
Also, I guess they swarm out the gas station, which means, if I'm correct, I should be able to blow them up a bit. Go on, Trevor.
I was hoping that would be a used car place.
Like, it's the fear factor. Like, even though technically these Chimera are probably more dangerous than those other Chimera, fighting them is not nearly as creepy or petrifying as the other ones.
And keep in mind, it's once again not a situational thing. The chimeras in those cocoons will start appearing from this point onward, you know, in all over the place. You'll have to actually watch out.
Fine.
Because again, to be fair, it is the way the chimeras are converting people into them in America.
There's also, as you guys know, in case you don't know, they also recently announced a God of War streaming series, apparently, and there's already talk that apparently they're making a God of War, not HD, 4K, I guess, trilogy pack, the original.
Yeah, the original Olympian saga.
So, like for example, like if you look at the PlayStation Productions video, like if you don't know, that's the place that the part of Sony Pictures that handles all these PlayStation adaptations, right? In the special video that they made for their website, there's a brief glimpse of Sir Fortescue, which hints that they might be
Having a medieval. I think they mentioned a few months ago that this was actually potentially in production, and
Yeah.
I hope it's something that's like CGI animated because that's probably the best way to handle a
probably.
medieval product.
Like I probably will be a partnership with Sony Animation. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
It would be cool if Genny Tartakovsky was the one doing it, but I'm not holding my breath.
That would
Oh
be
great, now the diner is invaded by Chimera with Augur, meaning that we cannot use cover anymore. Fuck me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they certainly know how to up the ante. Regardless of how fair or not that is.
Yeah.
You
There's also-
cannot order the orange mocha frappuccino. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go
They
on,
also,
sorry.
in fact, they also recently re-released the original Medieval.
Yeah, just the
version.
first one. So you can play on PlayStation 4 as medieval, or medieval, but not 2 yet.
Well, to be fair, too, it's very probable that 2 is coming next. So
True, but I kind of not love, but I find it ironic the fact that even Kadikros pointed out when the first Medieval remake came out, there was almost no love for Medieval 2, as in. Again, rumors about a remake of that have been floating around, but mostly confirmed. But new weapon in the meantime. The XR-13 Velox semi-automatic, which was initially designed by Captain Roland Murray of the New York State Police during the Spartan attack of August 1951. Though the area was doomed to become the country's first gray zone, the weapon survived as an effective tool against spinner infestation. Each round contains a napalm charge that ignites on contact, setting fire to anything in its blast radius. A secondary mode fires a self-detonating canister of pressurized explosives. To fire primary rounds, press R1. To fire a napalm canister, press R2. So, grenade launcher. And yeah, as you're about to see, it does the job. See, that's the thing about the weapon designs in these games, in this particular sequel. Outside of the one returning from the first game, the new one introduced, maybe the marksman, I argue, as a bit of, innovation, but so a lot of the new ones introduced seem to lack a bit the kind of magic that Insomniac tends to have and just look a bit more, for lack of a better term, standard military stuff, which itself is not a problem, but it might be a significance of, once again, the studio wanted to cater more to the Call of Duty. What the fuck is with these shadows? Oh my god, it's like in Prince of Persia again.
It's like they're trying to either blind us with darkness or light simultaneously.
yeah. But yeah, well, look at it this way: like the fact that, if we do indeed get a medieval movie or series, that will make it probable that they might cook up something from Medieval 2 to go along with that, since we already have so there is, because that's been their pattern so far.
Although Tio does have a point, though. It's weird how little love Medieval 2 got in the grand scheme.
Mind you, I still technically had to play it myself to understand, if it was better, worse, or just the same as the first one. So I technically do.
One?
Not yet, no.
Huh. Well, it should be the next one in the classic, so you should catch it.
I have a complicated relationship with Medieval Resurrection. Like, I don't.
No, Pedro was talking strictly about the sequel, but Resurrection was the first remake, quote unquote, that was done for the PSP, which did not involve any of the original creators outside of the composers. I don't even think Daniel Fortescue did that the same voice actors. The story was almost completely rewritten with more emphasis on the comedy, and most of them was outdated stuff because your new sidekick was essentially a bit of an Arabian stereotype. Yikes.
Like, I don't hate Resurrection as much as most people. I actually have something of a soft spot. At the same time, I cannot deny it has issues. Like, I'll admit, I feel like the second remake was trying to go for a bit of a mix of that. Speaking of which, why on earth did they have the voice of the genie during the second remake's trailer? Like, that had everyone
If I had
thinking.
to hazard a guess, Jova, originally that was supposed to be a straight port or enhanced port of the PSP version, but because of the reception that the first teaser had, they had to, rework it as a complete remake of the first game. It would explain the long development cycle which the game had.
Yeah, that'd be something.
The PS1 version recently got put on both PS4 and
Which is also a bit redundant because, one of the unlockables in the PS4 version is the entirety of the first game.
Oh, really?
Well, to be fair, I do think that people shouldn't be forced to buy the remake just so they can play the original.
What I do get, it's more of a case of, there's not too much of a difference in cost. at the same time
I
too.
mean, not to mention too, correct me if I'm wrong, but does does the emulation of the original have rewind and upscaling like the recent one has?
Okay, from what the little bit that I played of it, there technically there is the upscaling, not the rewind, but like I said, that as a feature, that really is one of the most neglectful things that you can do. Like I would prefer more focus on stuff like the performance.
Well, here's the thing. Well, here's the thing too. One thing we have to remember about old games like PS1 games is that a lot of times just uncapping the frame rate might not do it because a lot of these games were actually made with the 30 FPS in mind, and sometimes it can just break the game if you just uncap the frame rate. So it's a bit more complicated than just flipping a switch, to be fair. Well, that's the thing too. Like honestly, ever since Rare Replay, I've come to really appreciate, and of course, there's really Eclipse's collection.
Like if the game in question was really ball busting, like the Battletoads, yes, I definitely get it. Oh no, let me explain. Let me talk this. This is actually a cool set piece. Now you're in on basically a movie theater, basically. However, they start to swarm you. What is best for you to do? Get back from the entrance, so you basically force them into a choke point because look at that!
Single file everyone now.
It's literally a clown car squad, holy shit! But I can explain to you in a second because you will get, you know, a snippet of it. After you're done with this order, if you pay attention to the music, you get a musical stinger that's slightly similar to the Psycho theme. Again, that's a bit more subtle, but that's part of the Insomniac humor that I tend to actually like.
What is the trophy setting? Conti...
Hey, let me translate it for you, Dwebs. Close encounters.
Ah, cute.
Basically, get enough of a kill at the same time with the shotgun. Basically, like I did, I think I did mention, but replaying these games allow me to do a bit of a cleanup of some of the trophies. Not all of them. Obviously, the platinum for this is technically unobtainable because a lot of them involve both either the co-op stuff or the multiplayer, you know. Anyway, this next section sucks because you're basically gonna be swarmed by 3 titans at the same time. There you go. But so let's speed up, please. I'm pretty sure you do.
Familiar.
Well, not for you, Jova. Do you recognize that, Dweebs? You might have had...
Recognize the song?
Yeah, this music.
Nothing's ringing about.
Okay, well, I don't blame you because it's probably a part that you haven't played, but it's part of the Alexander raids from Final Fantasy XIV. It's all about them machines.
I wonder why I got a sense of deja vu. Maybe it's a Final Fantasy...
You have to understand, Drova, that, okay, 16 technically did give a taste of what is capable of, like, oh no, new grenade, so let me use this to read it. The spider grenade. Each grenade contains an airtight vial of concentrated necrotoxin harvested from the salivary glands of marauders. Once the substance hits oxygen, it catches fire and propagates at an alarming rate, causing severe tissue damage to anyone who comes in contact with it. The toxin's only drawback is its lifespan. The fire consumes it after short periods of time. The Masayoshi Soken, the composer of 14 and 16, tends to be very experimental. There are points where almost no 2 tracks have the same thought process behind it or instrumentation, so you can literally get everything. 1 second, you might get this, but it's more experimental rock. The other, you get what's the equivalent of a Bollywood type of sequence, believe it or not. So there's never a dull moment. As a result, there's a good chance that a lot of track from 14 and by extension 16, you know, may be enticing for the audience. The thing is that, like I said, the titles did got a bit of an upgrade compared to the previous game, which means they're more asshole-ish. Also, this one got stuck in place. Okay. Which means also taking them down is a bit more hard, and the game just drops you 3 at a time for this mid-section. That's just dickish with the arsenal that you have. And to be fair, you have your allies here. your squad, but there's only so much they can do. The good thing is that you don't have to worry about them. You know, similar to The Last of Us, they have infinite health and they don't get knocked out, so you don't have to worry about them. There we go.
Echo to command. We've got drop ships inbound. We can't get to the tower.
Roger that, Echo.
Basically, if you did not pay attention to the dialogue, we need to get to the radio tower because we can use that to actually get rescued from the place.
You know, on the subject of first-person shooters, what was that game that spawned that meme of mission failed, we'll get him next time? I can't remember.
One of the Call of Duty games, I forgot which specific one. Like I said, it's tied progressively to the single-player mission because, like I said, despite the memeing status of people caring about the multiplayers, how did I
Modern Warfare 3.
The Call of Duty games do have a recurring plot. Sometimes they are connected with each other, but a lot of times they are, you know, contain themselves. Like, I think it was Infinite Warfare, the one that had Kevin Spacey as basically a war profiteer, which turns out to be the villain, because of course. Then there was Ghost, which, you know, hyped up a lot the fucking dog. Which of course turns out to be, you know, an important part of the story because, you know, emotional connection, but that's up to you. Alright, basically, Blake is telling that, there you go, Capelli will actually follow Hale, the others will actually find another way to the tower. So, for a while you're accompanied by the Hothead, which carries around basically a sort of a personal machine gun. You will get this kind of weapon in a later level, but for the time being, it's basically Capelli's property.
Oh,
and which means
the guy who did that voice actually was in that One Piece show.
Mind you,
Let's get some light in here.
to give a slight spoiler, Capelli survives this game, so don't worry about his health. But he's gonna have his voice actor changed for the next game, and I don't know why. And yeah, the game is back to, you know, giving a bit of dread because now you need to get into a train tunnel, which is also infested there's no lighting, and is infested by the cocoons. And you just know that they're about to burst any second now. Yeah. You got it out of your system? Good. Capelli, we need to move. Oh, for fuck's sake.
So now what?
Well, we need to keep moving forward. It's more of a case where at every step of the way these things continue to hatch and you need to actually repel them. Think of it as a sort of a horde mode.
Die.
Basically, Capelli's minigun functions kind of like a proper Gatling, but also has a mini shield onto it. Yes, Lives?
How come he gets a shield and we don't?
Because we will get the weapon in a later level. Essentially, it's a bit of a tease, blue balling, so to speak. It's consider it as a technique, something that premiered mostly in Half-Life. The idea of teasing you with a weapon that you will get only later, or sort of a blue balling that you get.
This guy's a cheat. He went ahead in the script and he'd get a weapon and decided to make it earlier for himself.
Doom 3 also does something similar to this, where an important character gets the BFG of the game way before you and prides himself of actually being safe and sound by having it, you know? And like I said, you get it only way, way later. Fucking asshole. But like I said, again, the second game is actually very good at building up the atmosphere, even for this case. Oh, there we go. At least we got out of the tunnel. I'm sure that's not suspicious in the slightest. Basically, the jump cut is that there was an ambush and they died, so yeah. Because again, the big guys with the energy weapons tend to get back. In this case, the drone from the secondary fire of the marksman is actually your best friend because it's a good distracting tool. Otherwise, you know, you have to rely on hit and run tactics. Technically speaking, you can actually try to get under the bridge and pop up on the other side, but it's a good way to get you killed, if you have to ask me. So consider your options. Capelli will try to do his part, but you can't rely on the NPC to do all the work for you. Like I said, just don't worry about their health, they're technically fine. It's more of a case of just hope that their damage output is enough. There you go. I think there's only one left. Yeah, for starting also with this level, a lot of the Chimera Grunt love to just toss the hedgehog grenades non-stop. Again, the AI of the enemy is technically a bit improved in order to try to avoid you turtling behind a cover all the time. So there is that.
We have visual on South Tower. Transport's been tracked, but the shells are intact. We should be able to get it back to the target.
Be advised, Echo, those are high-density concussion shells. Check for fractures before shifting anything.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Safety first.
I mean, as you said, safety first. Alright, don't worry about this next tunnel. It does still have a couple of cocoons, but the next place we're going to go with is actually right around the corner. There you go. Now, if only Capelli would show up. Oh, there he is.
Think it's a trap?
What do they teach us in basic? Hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Agreed.
Alright. Oh, also a couple of grenades. It's generous. Oh, another radio.
First man I've seen in days. And a boy. Could be his son, 15 or 16, hard to tell. They're down there on the street. The boy is helping his father turn over a hot dog stand. They must be searching for food. Maybe if they don't mind peas, Wait.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in the shadows. Another man. It's no. Run! Go! Get to the stairs!
Did they get to the stairs?
There are creatures running out.
Well, it's here.
Nearly human, but not quite. And the boy has fallen. He's tripped over the hydrant, and oh dear God, get back to him! The father's got him. He's got him. They're running, and oh my God, there's more creatures. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen anything so horrible. They're being cornered in the alley, and the
Even narrates like he's Orson Welles.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the idea.
And then it turns out in Resistance 3 this whole thing was fake.
Smart kid, keep going. He's up on the fire escape. The windows, kid, try the windows. More creatures. The same spidery demons who took my Beverly. They're dropping down from the roof and...
Well,
Hold on.
He didn't make it.
Oh.
oh well.
Radio USA. This is Henry Stillman. Philadelphia.
Well, happy fun times, I guess. Can you check in the meantime, Dweebs, who is voiced by while we're at it?
What's the character's name?
Henry Stillman. Thank Capelli for waiting. Oh, great, now sewer level. Fuck.
Henry Stillman, and he's Mark Mayoland.
Like I said, they made the character return as a radio host. for the PS Vita game, so technically he reprises the role there. But I don't know what else the voice actor did.
Well, he's mainly his job's mainly been being sound editor, sound designer, and mixer.
I will say that for voice acting, as particularly as a radio host, he did a good job for this game.
He returns to the role in the Resistance
Burning Sky, like I
Skies.
said, the PS Vita game.
What the hell was that?
Oh, he worked on Toy Story in the sound department.
So what did he use for audio silicon graphics computers?
You mean the movie or the game?
The movie.
Okay.
So he did work at Pixar.
Yeah, for a bit.
So you would say this is an Insomnia game that feels like playing a Pixar movie. Of course.
Yeah, I can see the Silicon Graphics computers at work.
Alright, this time around, instead of actually us having to escort Capelli, we have to do the work, and he actually is cover up for us. That's actually a nice change of pace. We still have to deal with some of these leapers, but at the very least it's appreciated. Ow. Pieces of shit. I would have to say also, again, PS3 game and everything, the water effects and the leapers actually running underwater, that's not having too bad. Again, 2008, so... There we go.
Oh.
Are we done? Okay. Also, I would say that the music is trying a bit more during these sequences. Like I said a few parts ago, it's still not that much, but at the very least, they are trying to sound great. It reminds me a bit of a score that was done for Aliens, the second movie. So there is that, but it's still not equally as memorable.
I will give the game credit. Getting me to care this much about a guy who we haven't even seen face to face is not a bad feat. Definitely is owed and
It's
well
all about
to
the
performance.
the delivery of the voice actors.
I kind of get the feeling though, like, unless this guy gets a happy ending, I can sadly see it ending pretty dark for him.
Well, that's what we'll have to find out.
Does Burning Skies take place after 2 or
No, I think it's
before?
before because I think it's during the early days of invasion, during those fabled 2 years.
So for all I know, he could live or die by the end of this.
Command, this is Hale. We need a mobile inhibitor station ASAP.
Acknowledged. I'll have one standing by, Lieutenant.
All right. So we should need to reactivate the tower, and we should be good to go.
Nice.
Oh fuck!
Of course.
Capelli! Oh, for fuck's sake, Capelli, no!
It's never easy, is it?
Ellie,
Search and rescue now, Lieutenant. Stay focused on your objective.
But thankfully now we do have, now a boss fight, and a proper decent one this time around against this particular enemy, which I don't really has a name, but I forgot which specific one it is. It's think of it as a giant leaper, basically.
Cool.
As for attacks, he can try to spit on us. That's nice. Then he might try to actually move from the position if I inflict enough damage, if I recall correctly. Don't worry about ammos because the area is completely littered by them and you don't run out.
So I'm guessing just run around and you'll automatically pick some up.
Yes. Like I said, it's a bit generous in order to avoid for you to be stuck in this.
Hey, where are you going? Get back here.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's what it's doing instead. That's not an attack, but a call for, you know, calling a bunch of leapers to attack you.
Wow.
Oh, could you imagine if he just spoke? But then it'll be like this. Why are we all? Why did he just order you a pizza? We're attacking him. No, I meant.
Oh, that's a path.
Attack him. God, why didn't you say that earlier?
You should be working on your communication skills.
Hey, be fair. Be fair. Be fair. All I can actually say out loud is rag.
Well, shouldn't your species have evolved well enough to differentiate your communication?
Not really. By the time of the game, the humans seem to have an understanding that, while technically working for the same hive mind, the Chimeras do seem to have two separate, you know, physiologies. These one are technically called feral because they're more resembling, you know, proper beast. While stuff like the hybrids are more humanoid and more, you know, technically advanced in terms of, you know, evolution.
So they're kind of like what apes are to us as humans, essentially.
To
Very
an
similar
extent,
biologically,
you have to
but
just
more animalistic.
You have to just think for the time being that they all work under the same goal via collective consciousness. Basically, when these boss is actually running towards you, you have to basically try to just run away until it decides to give up and reposition.
Makes sense.
There we go.
I'm looking for a grenade in his mouth.
That would be something now.
Hey, Capelli survived.
Wait, what?
Ellie, your vid feed just made the highlight reel around here. What's your status?
I'll make it, sir. Regen kicked in just in time. I'll drop smoke. Just send
Remember, the Sentinel program meant that, you know, they could regenerate alpha, which means Capelli could sustain injuries like that. But yeah, that also means reactivating also the cannons on top of the towers.
You're clear to engage.
Which also means they can use that to start actually shooting some of those ships.
It's payback time.
Or at least it's something.
It's the start of hope. A new
Well, it's
hope.
got at least some effect.
Don't underestimate.
Guys, maybe we shouldn't have had our ship
There you
fly
go,
such close
it's the same thing that kind of happened in Star Wars Rogue One.
Maybe we shouldn't have had our small ships in such close proximity to us, because this can happen. Oh shit!
I guess they were not expecting to actually have, you know, backfire.
Never underestimate American war machines.
That begs the question: where to now? Yeah, Hale needs the inhibitor.
Well, we've been a bit busy, but now,
Unfortunately, yeah, Malikov is apparently in danger, and Hale wants to go to help him.
fuck your orders.
If any of you want to leave, get out now.
Ah, Nathan Hale. He's a true hero of justice.
In Bryce Canyon.
He's basically.
So is it going to be like in the Marine, where he does do the right thing, but since he disobeyed orders, he gets kicked out?
It's not exactly, but you have to remember one thing that they established since part 2. The fact that the people of the Sentinel program do require those inhibitor shots. So Hale cannot actually dwindle too much with this. But we'll have to see how that actually pans out when in the next part we try to save Malikov. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yep.